Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dale Stanek, Director of Safety here at ACE Doran. I'd like to welcome you all for joining our All Call for the month of February. Joining me today is Jim Collins, President of ACE Doran. Jim, how are you?
Dale, good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
Also, Chad Leiter, Director of Operations. Chad?
Good afternoon, Dale. Good afternoon, everyone calling in.
Oh, thank you. Loren Bailey is also with us. He is the Owner-Operator Advisory Services. Loren, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you, Loren. Coming back to the show from a long time, Pat Timon, Manager of Technology. Pat?
How's it going, everybody?
Thank you, Pat. And also Dan Tucker. He's our Vice President of the Southeast Region. Dan, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thank you, Dale.
Oh, thank you. We'll go ahead and have Jim start it off. Jim?
Sure. Well, what a lineup. Got Loren today, Pat, Dan, me, you, Chad. That might be an all-time record.
It's a full virtual conference.
Yeah. I said in my email that David Lowry may or may not be joining us today. That is still the case. David's got some stuff he's doing this afternoon preparing for a symposium, and he's not sure if he's going to be able to jump on or not, so he's still a maybe. But speaking of symposium, I'll get to that in a second. First, let me just say welcome to all of you. Thank you for calling. I think we've got 160-some people on the line right now, so that's a nice turnout. Hope all of you continue to stay safe and COVID-free. I know a lot of people now have had it and come through the other side of it, and we're very thankful for that. And hopefully the vaccine will continue to become more available and get those vaccinated that haven't had that opportunity. So I think we're moving in the right direction, so that's awesome. We started these calls as a result of COVID back in about this time last year, right? It's been about a year.
Yep.
And I think I've mentioned this before, but, we want to continue to do this just in the spirit of communication and collaboration. I think it's a great thing for us to be able to talk with everyone once a month, and, I continue to hope that you find these calls to be beneficial and valuable, and that we're talking about the things that you want us to talk about. So if we're not, please let us know so we can try to cater and speak directly with the topics that you might want to hear. So just a little bit of a business update. I might have mentioned this last month, but since we're still in February, I'll mention 2020 one last time. We surpassed, as a company, from a revenue standpoint, we surpassed 2019 by $6.2 million last year. I thought that was incredible considering COVID and everything that we went through. So that's just a big thank you to all of you that are on the call, owner-operators, drivers, agents, employees, to grow the company by over $6 million in the midst of a COVID pandemic is really quite an accomplishment, and I just want to say thank you to all of you, because without each of you, it wouldn't be happening. Very happy to report that if January is any indication, we're off and running for 2021. Wind is a little bit slow right now. Started out a little slow in January. It's picked up a little bit more in February, and we think March is going to be a little better yet. So wind is a little slow getting started, but getting better each week. As far as our non-wind entities, we started out January, we were actually $700,000 north of where we were in 2020. So we seem to be off to a good start. February's looking good. Last week was a little painful with the storms. A lot of people were shut down, understandably. So we saw a little bit of a downtick last week, but pretty sure that was weather related. So all in all, on the business front, things are good. We are healthy. Talking with some new agents. Just had a long call this morning, actually, with one. So we're working on a lot of different things, and we really think 2021 is going to be another great year for us. So just thank you to all of you, and just know that we appreciate what you're doing, and we fully realize that we can't and wouldn't be doing what we're doing without all of you. So moving along to a couple of our guests, we did have some bad news this week. One of our agents down in Texas actually was the victim of a devastating house fire, and we've asked Dan Tucker to come onto the call to talk about that a little bit. And then Dan, if you want to kind of talk about what happened, and just so you all know, we're hoping to be able to raise some money to help the family. So Dan, I'll turn it over to you, and then I'll probably have some follow-up comments on this situation.
Okay. Thank you, Jim, and good afternoon, everyone. And like Jim said, we had one of our agents, Frances Risner, Terminal 97 in Cold Spring, Texas, lost her home last week to a fire. With the unusually cold temperatures and the rolling blackouts they were having in Texas, they were using a generator that caught fire and exploded, and it caught their house on fire, and it was a total loss for them. And they didn't have any insurance at the time on the home because Francis' husband, Alton, is going through cancer treatments that are very expensive. So we wanted to put this out to y'all, and if you would like to help out this family, you can do so through a settlement deduction. Just let Amy Cribbs or Cindy Gully know how much you'd like to donate, and they can set up that deduction for you. So thank you in advance, and please keep this family in your prayers. And Dale, I'll turn it back over to you now.
Yeah, just real quick, Dan, thank you for that. You know, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to Francis and Alton. That was a horrible situation. So as Dan mentioned, we've got it set up. If there's any drivers on the call that would consider or want to donate to that, you can speak with Cindy or Amy in settlements, and they can set that up for you. If there are any agents on the call that would be interested in participating, you could speak with Kathy Newman and maybe have a settlement deduction or something like that. One thing we're going to do here at Ace Doran this week is we're going to buy all the employees lunch, both here in the home office and out in all the field offices, and then in response to that, ask all the employees to consider a donation of maybe what they would have spent on their lunch or a little bit more. So hopefully between, the company, we'll make a donation, employees, drivers, agents, hopefully we can raise a little money to help them out. So just thank you for your consideration of that. Dale?
Oh, thank you, Jim. Just want to remind everybody, if you have a question or you want to add a comment, we'll take this at the end. If you just hit *3, you'll get into the queue there, and then we'll take those questions accordingly. So I want to go ahead and get started with some safety information here. I want to recognize our drivers who've had clean inspections since the last time we got together, starting off with Robert Morris, John Robinson, Gordon Smith, Robert Giolamo, Levi J. Miller, Leslie Allsworth, Keith James, Raymond Gajak, Dale Peters, Chuck Reinhart, Bruce Bailey, and Harrison Burns. So I congratulate all those drivers. Last year, if you recall, we did really well with clean roadside inspections. We'd like to keep that trend going into this year, potentially anticipating more inspections since it seemed like the DOT was hampered with COVID. They weren't as active. So please just make sure you're prepared for roadside inspections and having your equipment and yourself ready for inspection. A couple of trends that we have noticed so far at the beginning of this year that aren't as positive is the unsafe violations we've gotten. In the month of January, the ACE BME side, DOT had 4 violations, and unfortunately, ACE picked up 3 out of the 4. That's a trend that we definitely don't want to see. We don't want to, raise our profile with that type of stuff. So, just be mindful of your speed. Watch for and obey speed limit signs. When you're coming into urban areas, anticipate the speed limit go down. Be prepared for that. And then watch your speed going down a hill. If you're keeping with the flow of traffic right now, you're probably speeding because it seems like everyone is going 10 miles over the limit anymore.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah, with the reduced congestion on the roadway. So just be aware of that. I anticipate this year that law enforcement will probably try to rein that in and, look for additional speeders. Some other things that I've seen so far this year with accidents, we've been doing all right, but I have noticed we've had a lot of close space accidents. We're either backing into things or turning around in lots and hitting cars. This weekend we had one of our drivers at a repair facility. He backed into someone's camper. I mean, that could have been easily stopped by just getting out, looking to see where your equipment is in relationship to other potential hazards or equipment, And then the other day, someone else hit a fuel pump, I believe. So it's just, you need to know where your equipment is in relationship to these stationary objects. So we just want to start eliminating or reducing those types of claims because they do add up when we have them, weekly, is what we're seeing right now. Outside of that, getting out doing safety meetings, I want to remind everybody that you can go on to Driver's IG. The safety meeting for the first quarter is available. I encourage everyone to get that done sooner than later. It seems a large number of us likes to wait to the very end to take that. So get it done sooner than later. So just a reminder, star 3 with any questions or comment, and I'm going to turn it over to Chad.
Thank you, Dale. Good afternoon, everyone. As we've done in the past, I'm going to go over the national load-to-truck ratio, national average rates for both flatbed and vans. Then we'll compare that to where ACE Doran currently stands, and then our top performers. Then I'll wrap it up with some topics that I'd like to discuss with the group. We're currently standing national load-to-truck ratio, 63, almost 64 loads to every truck in the nation right now. So things are definitely on the uptick. It was 53-1 at the end of January. National rate per mile was 244 back in November. It's up to 252. This is on the flatbed side. On the van side, you're looking at 9.7 loads to truck, back up from 4 to 1 at the end of January. The rate per mile has dipped from November from 244 down to 234 in February here. So van trend is on the downward trend, but happy to report that on our van division, was actually listening to Chuck Diamond yesterday go over orientation, and they're averaging anywhere from 220 to 249 a mile, which is outstanding. That van division is really doing good. So kudos to Chuck and Troy, Jeff Crowley, and the gang out there.
What'd you say the national number was?
National average right now is 234.
Nice.
So we're in most cases north of that, according to Chuck and Troy and their revenue out there. So
that's good.
in terms of ACE Doran, our average rate per mile right now in February is 291, whereas in January it was 284. So we're well north of that national average. So the majority of our freight, I think, as everyone on the call knows, is generated here in the Midwest. And then we have our big supporters, Stephen Hawk, Michael Hunt, and then our company stores, and then our power-only guys down in Louisville, Kentucky that are driving those numbers. Load count, we are year over year, we are well above, I think it was 700 loads year over year. In January we were up over last year. And then we're trending to be close to 1,000 loads, I believe, if we keep trending where we're at this week. We should be over 1,000 loads where we were at this time last year. So get you over to our top performers. On the government side, Doug Hibbs, Jessica Kalk down there in Louisville, Kentucky. You got Leo and Leslie Nauman, James and Leanne Sprague, and Eddie and Nancy Truitt. Our power-only group down there, we've got Adrian Welch and Nathaniel Kitt, team running for Haney and White, Michael Morrow and Logan Mahan. And then rounding up that group is Justin Anderson. And then open deck, we've got Mark Dennis, who is a RGN. Then we've got Brandon Jenkins running out of a company store up in Monroe, Ohio. And then these last two were literally like $270 apart. So I'm going to mention Michael Hunt and his driver, Quentin McCall. And then long legacy driver, Levi J. Miller. Hitting the top performer list there in January.
Good for Levi.
Yeah, so I actually passed Levi on my way home last night. He was
really?
popping up 75 north, and I was going southbound. So
My gosh, we've mentioned his name twice already.
I know. I think it's going to be a good year for Levi, hopefully. Back to the safety side of things. I had a note to go over the first quarter safety meetings. Make sure you attend those through Driver's IG, and please slow down in Indiana. Dale, how many times have we seen speeding tickets in Indiana? All last year, and then we've already seen a couple this year, I believe, right?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned in my segment with the speeding, all the speeding we've seen has been from Indiana. So they are strict enforcers over in that state. be mindful of that. They don't give you any leeway there,
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
And then we had another violation, Dale, in our safety and operations meeting this week, and I just wanted to make mention of it. Please make sure you're doing your pre-trip, mid-trip, and post-trip inspections. We had a driver get wrote up for a securement violation, correct, Dale?
Yep.
And I don't remember what the exact violation was, if it was a loose chain or loose strap.
Chain, yep.
Or whatever it was, but please make sure, we've already seen, I think, the inspection rate increasing, from where it was at last year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these states are starting to, make up for lost time with officers not being out patrolling during COVID or just not feeling comfortable to go out and do it. So, please make sure you're doing your pre-trip, mid-trip, and post-trip inspections, watching your speed, and then lastly, if you guys are hurting for freight, right now, the Midwest is hopping. We've got a lot of, building materials moving, all across the Midwest, and things are great right now, so hopefully we can keep the momentum going, through the rest of this quarter and into our busy season. So with that, Dale, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Chad. Jeff Roach just texted me and reminded me for the safety meeting, if you're doing it on your phone, you may want to turn it sideways so you can see all the answers for the multiple choice. So if you keep your phone upright, you're not going to see the probably letter D, which may be an answer.
Which might possibly be the one you're looking for.
Yeah.
And Dale, can we go into the queue real quick? Don Laymiller has joined us, and Don wants to make a quick announcement.
Okay.
Into the donation for Francis Risner. So if you could go ahead and queue up Don Laymiller.
Go ahead, Don.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm Don.
Hey, Don,
Laymiller.
good afternoon.
How you doing, Jim?
Good. How about you?
Oh, out trucking. You know, we're busy. So
There you go.
That's
what you
it's
do.
a good thing. Yeah.
Sir.
No, I was talking to Jerry and Violet on the board, and we, with the Driver Relief Fund, want to help the agent in Houston. We're gonna donate $500 because
Nice. Thank you.
we have drivers and agents contributing to our fund, and this is a very sad thing that, catastrophe thing that has happened, and we just feel that we should help this, with the cancer and the house fire down there because of this extreme weather we've been having. It just seems like the right thing to do. So since everybody donated so well over the at the Driver Appreciation Week, that we have the ability and funds to help this person out.
That's very nice. Don, while you're on the phone, could you just take a... Yeah, that's awesome. Could you just take a minute in case there's maybe new drivers on the phone or new agents or people who don't, when you talked about the board, just a minute or two about the Drivers Advisory Board and the Drivers Relief Fund? Just kind of an overview.
Yeah, sure. There's 3 of us on the Driver Advisory Board for ACE, and we also manage the Driver Relief Fund. They're interconnected. What we do over at the agent side, the relief fund is we raise this money. We take, some people donate by the load, by the week, or just one-time donations when we do our big fundraiser, and then we help drivers in need, whether it's injury, illness, a sudden close family member's death. We've helped probably 5 or 6 people last year, I think, maybe more. I don't have that number off the top of my head. We've helped people with that have been sick. We've helped people that have had cancer and stuff like that. And then on the advisory board, we're the sounding board for any drivers that have any issues or are having problems with an agent or type of load. Or we're also there for people that have things that improvements for the company, like technical improvements, improvements in our IT department. We've made a lot of contributions through drivers for our IT department to make things run smoother. So if you have any concerns, comments, or questions, you can always reach out and contact one of us, advisory board.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Don. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you guys for what you're doing for Francis. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
follow that up. Yeah, thanks, Don, to follow that up. I just got a text message from Amy. We're already getting donations. So if you guys are already donating, that's awesome. That just shows the true Ace Doran spirit and what our company's all about. So thank you for that.
All right, thank you. We went ahead and did a drawing here for $50 gift cards. First winner is Travis Snyder. Travis, we'll get that out to you, and Richard Clark. So, all right.
Nice.
Next, we're going to go ahead and go with Pat Timon. He's our manager of technology. He's going to inform us on our migration over to TransFlow.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? So they brought me on just to give you a little heads up of upcoming changes that we'll be doing in how you send in your documents. So nothing happening right now, but just within the next couple months you'll get word of it. But just giving you a little heads up here. So currently most of you guys are using Drive Axle to send in documents. So what we'll be doing in the future months is we'll be changing over to TransFlow this year. So Bennett started using TransFlow about a year and a half ago. They've had great feedback on it with their team and their contractors. So it's a pretty good outlook of moving to TransFlow. So I know change is difficult for some, which is totally understandable, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the benefits and why it's better that we move to this. So for one, what it is it's more of a better application. TransFlow has been in the documents the document solution game for a while, and they know what they're doing. It's a better app. So if you've ever been on the receiving end of the call saying from our imaging department, from our imaging ladies, and saying, you know, can you resend this? It's not great quality, or it's blurry or something like that. This app should definitely help you out with that. So better capturing, it's more efficient, and then also it has better integration for our side of the back end of things. So TransFlow will integrate directly into the BennettIG.mobi app, so if you're familiar with that. And when you send your document, it will automatically pick up your driver information, so your truck number, your load number, all that information you had to type in manually when you send through Drive Axle, that all should be picked up automatically when going through the Mobi app. So what's going to change for you guys? So obviously the app is going to change. So instead of using Drive Axle, it's going to be using TransFlow. And then secondly, with the whole integration piece, you'll need to access that app by going through the BennettIG.mobi app. So I know a lot of you guys, or some of you guys, may not use the BennettIG.mobi app, but that's something we'll have to get you into once we start this transition to do that. So our plan, like I said, this is still the early stages. We just wanted to give you a heads up, but we're still doing minor things on development of the app. And then once we get that finished up, we're going to push it out to our test drivers and get them to send in a few documents. And then we're going to work with the departments here and then those drivers and work out any kinks we may have. And then from there, what we're going to do is start pushing it out. So we're going to start with the new drivers, orientation guys. We're going to get them into it, and then we'll start pushing it out to current contractors. So once we start moving over to it, you'll definitely know about it. We'll give you all the information that you need on all of our different sources. So the BennettIG.mobi, Driver's IG, social media, any all call or newsletter, we'll get that information out to you, and we'll let you know how you can move over to it. So that's really all I had. If you guys have any questions for me, I'll be on the call for the rest of the time, so you can always press *3 and you can ask me the question, or if you want to talk to me after the call or sometime later, you can give us a call at our main number and use option 7, and that'll connect you to the IT department. And then you can talk to me or Alexander, and we'll be more than happy to discuss anything that you may have questions about. So, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Great job, Pat. So just so everybody knows, again, I know Pat said it, but I just want to reiterate, this isn't anything that's happening tomorrow, next week, next month. It's just something we're meeting about. It's something we're going to go to. But we were meeting, I don't know, one day last week or the week before, and we said, well, you know, these calls are all about communication and collaboration, so let's, even though we don't know much about it yet, we don't know when, we just wanted to get the word out. So just know that that's coming. Didn't want to drop any surprises. And so again, it's called TransFlow, and Alex and Pat can answer any questions that you would have.
Yeah, there are technology geniuses.
Yes, they are.
So.
Try.
and Chad. So, all righty. Well, we'll go ahead and bring on Loren. Loren, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. I've been asked to cover about 3 different areas, so just to break it down, we're going to give you a fuel overview, what to expect, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the second PPP loan situation, and then we're going to kind of tell you about the owner-operator advisory program. But we're definitely seeing some changes as predicted that you're going to see. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Comparison to 2020, you're paying about 35 cents more on the net than you were in 2020. 2020 was really, other than the problems we had out there, it was a great fuel year in terms of price. That additional cost for you team guys, if you're running about 20 grand, or if the single guys are running 10, that's added about $1,160 to your monthly fuel cost, and about $580 to the single guy. We're also seeing a jump, and I figure this is where it's probably helping you with the fuel surcharge. You know, January was $2.64 on the average on the DOE. It's jumped up to $2.88 on the average, which is 24 cents. But this past week, it's up to $2.97. So at least they're helping you all there. The crude is setting around. You know, we did hit and go over $60. All the mines that be at Wall Street are predicting, 75 to 80 is what they're going to go. Usually I don't pay attention to them. I just watch really the fundamentals and see what's happening there. At this point, what's really causing a lot of the increases is one, the weather factor. I mean, that shut down the wellheads. That hurts. That was a big hit. But on the positive side, looking forward, the consumer confidence is very high. I mean, people are very happy that they can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that goes for Wall Street too. Now they have different goals than the consumers do, but they're positive. Another factor that we have to watch out for, and trust me, I'm all over it, is really the speculators, how they're jumping into the market. That's exactly what they did, during unfortunate mess we were in, the last couple of weeks. They went in there and they rammed it up. And so we'll be watching that, because right now our production's down. Our refinery utilization is only at 83%. Normally it's 98, right at capacity at 100. And so we're seeing the wellheads, they shut them down. They had to, because no weatherization on it. But we're seeing them slowly start to gear up. And one thing that this has affected, which is a positive really for diesel, is this has affected turnarounds. Turnarounds are what they do at the refineries to retool the refinery to produce more gasoline. And when they do that, because we're out of the winter months, it makes diesel a secondary product. So we're looking forward to seeing that, or hearing that the turnarounds have been made. Generally, it's about the middle of February, but it looks like it's probably going to be maybe the middle of March. And I did want to share with you that and what's causing some of the confidence in the economy looking forward. When I looked at a comparison, like the last time we were in this situation, and it's 2 different players. Wall Street was big time affected this time, simply because we just had to shut down. Versus last time, it was basically the banks and auto people like that. And so that last stimulus, when it came out, that happened like 2008, and early 2009 is when they finally got the stimulus out to the people. So that was like a year. Now, on the 2021 stimulus, the timing is better, and we're being a little bit more consistent. Once that stimulus package hits, no matter what it is, I don't care about politics, but if you're going to put money in people's hands, that's where you want it. That's on Main Street. That's what will help everybody's business. If you stick it to a bank, it's going to take you a lot longer to do it. So they're way ahead on this deal because it'll go right straight out. And then the big thing is because just really people couldn't do anything. And comparing 2009 household balance sheets, which were terrible, to 2021, they're not bad. I mean, 2021 is allowed people to kind of catch up because they're not going out to eat, stuff like that. So that's the positive. You know, that's where we're making lemonade out of this lemon. So that's kind of what we're seeing, and we feel like that you're going to see some more choppiness. But then it'll level off, but that's where your fuel price is to be. Just real quickly, today, right now, crude's at 63, heating oil or diesel's touching right at 190, which is up 3.5, and then the gas is 197, and it's up about 3.5, and that crude was up $1.50. On the PPP side, I cannot stress enough or encourage you guys enough. If you got the first PPP loan, you need to apply for the second one. And the only thing you have to the qualifier is that in any given quarter, not the year, any given quarter, if you can show that your revenue dropped by 25%, you will get that second PPP loan. Now, what the nice thing about that, you guys are going to put it back in the economy. So that's a big plus. And right now, my count, as they call in and shoot me emails and stuff, we have 96 approved. We've got a total of about 115 that have, 96 have been approved, and there's about 19 that are still waiting to be approved. But you still have time. They're focusing on companies with 20 and under. They kind of have a exclusivity 2-week period. So jump in it and get in. And if you need any help, please give me a call. We're projected based off of that these guys' grand total is going to be somewhere around 670,000. I figure if everybody will jump in, I tell you, I've talked to a lot of guys and ladies that said, we're doing okay. Well, it's not really about that. It's great that you're doing okay, but if you lost that 25%, you're going to reinvest it back in yourself and your equipment or whatever. So I really encourage you to do that. And on the owner-operator advisory service, right now we have 170 involved. A large portion of those guys are like think tankers that they see information come back to me or go out to them like, what are you doing to handle per diem, or what are you doing on, how are you selecting loads, or how are you making decisions on loads. And it's really helping the younger guys out there because the one you don't want to do is sit out there in a truck stop for 4 days because that rate was not, your sweet spot. Get the truck moving and get it out there. It's called, in my neck of the wood, generated revenue. Because unfortunately, when you do that and sit and wait for the sweet spot, guess what? You've lost 4 days if it's a weekend, and you're probably not going to have a load Monday. Or if you do, you've got to consider that extra cost that it costs you to sit there wherever you might be. And so the most frequent things we're asked to look at and help the guys with is like just talking about their business structure. Are they an LLC or they're independent or whatever? And we also you're going to see on the newsletter that's coming out. I posted a little brief thing on there about goal setting. I can't tell you how important it is to set and figure out what you want to do. If you're not doing that and you're just, going home and, okay, I'm time to go back to work, and you don't have a game plan, it's kind of like not having a playbook. I coached basketball for 14 years. If I didn't have a playbook, then my kids would be running around hitting each other. So you look at goal setting and goals is you have a plan. And that plan can be how can I buy a truck? How can I improve my truck? How can I put more money into my maintenance account so when something comes down? Or what do I do if I need cash? The latest thing you hear out there, and I'm sure it's not this group, but a lot of people that you hear on the news all the time that people people they can't afford $400 to fix their car. So I would highly recommend that you look at goal setting. I'll be happy to help you with that. So call me, and my number is 479-790-5581. And the other stuff that we do, we also help you with the back office stuff, how you doing your accounting system. And I know you don't like to do that, but like one of the wives had an excellent, and a lot of people don't do it, but she said what she does a little bit every day. And she never procrastinates to put it off the next day. And that's the same thing on goal setting or budgeting. You can't say, I'll catch up next week, because if you're like a lot of us guys, you won't do it. So you have to be really disciplined. But I appreciate you guys so much. I am so honored to be your fuel guy for 13 years, and coming up on, I'm going to be heading in my 14th year in April. But if there's any questions you have about the fuel program, or about the PPP program, or about the owner-operator advisory program, you can call me. Let me quote this. Quote, you can call me night or day. I will answer the phone. If I don't answer the phone, that means I'm on the phone. But anyway, Jim, Chad, thank you so much for the invite.
Loren, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. The level of your understanding, not only of the fuel game, but just our business in general, is really remarkable, and we're lucky to have you as a resource. So thank you for taking the time to call. I really appreciate it, and we'll be in touch for sure. So thank you.
Thanks, Loren.
My pleasure. I did have one question from the safety, from Dale, I guess. I have been trying to get what the percent of accidents we're having at truck stops, and no one can tell me.
It's roughly almost 2/3 of all of our accidents is in truck stops and or parking lots, is where that falls into, more or less.
2/3. So what kind of percentage would you? I mean, you're talking about 2/3 of all accidents?
Yeah, that's just the total count of accidents. Roughly 2/3. Yeah, 60-some% happen in parking lots and or truck stops.
Wow. Well,
so,
one of the
by
things
no means
that
it's the most expensive type of accidents, but as far as repetitive, they add up.
Right-hand turns and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, here's one thing that's I think's probably causing that, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm speaking to deaf ears right now. I think you'll probably put it out there, but sometimes I have been kind of putting the word out there that we have slowly seen the Loves out there get way too much business. They are our number one fuel vendor right now, and they're probably one of the smallest in terms of available parking and things like that. So if you have the option to visit, a TA Petro that's setting to a Loves, that may be a very, very good decision you made. So you don't do a right-hand turn, or somebody backs into you, or you back into them. So just a recommendation to really look at it. Thank you.
We didn't invite our Loves rep to be on this call today, did we?
I don't think so. I don't think
you know what?
This quarter.
you know what? He needs to know it, and if he was on here, I would have a good talk with him.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. I know we met with TA already this quarter. So, but thank you, Loren.
I got one or two little random things.
Okay.
Thanks, Loren. Truck show, in case you guys don't know, Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. They were obviously it's canceled for March. They were considering trying September. We just got an email, earlier this week that's now out. So no truck show in 2021. It's rescheduled for March of 2022. And the only other thing I wanted to mention real quick is the Bennett Company Symposium, which is normally an in-person event that's held down in Georgia around this time of year. But because of COVID, that's an entirely virtual event this year. And so we've been recording a lot of the speeches and awards and all that kind of stuff over the last week or 10 days. And that's the week of March 8th through 12th. So you'll all hear more about that. But anyway, Symposium week, March 8th through March 12th.
All right. *3 if you want to have a question or comment. We got a couple people in the queue. I do want to announce the next two winners for our drawing here, Tim Sims and Harry Eaton. We will get you $50 gift cards here out in the mail. I did have someone just text me with a question on TransFlow. They wanted to know, are there any fees associated with that? And no, there's not. It's just like an application just like Drive Axle. So you might be thinking about the old TransFlow machine that you had to go into the truck stop and do. This is app on your phone, and you'll just take pictures of your documentation.
Correct.
I'm still getting text on donations for Francis. Got another agent, Nelson Caceros, agent 779's donated $300, and then just got a word from Cindy over in dispatch. Buddy Meter just donated $100. So thank you guys so much for your donations. It's greatly appreciated, and I know Francis and Alton will feel greatly appreciated as well.
That's cool. I feel like we're doing a telethon.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and take some calls now. Al Miller, numerous calls in. We appreciate you being a fan of the show. Want to go ahead, Al?
Hey, how are you all doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah.
You pulling that new trailer yet?
Tomorrow will be the first load on it. I'm finishing up my promise to Victor with the FedEx.
There you go. Got to take care of Vic in the game.
Yeah, Victor does good. He's a great guy. And but my question is for Pat, if he could possibly guide me in the right direction to get some kind of device for Wi-Fi in my truck.
Yeah, so there's different things that you can do depending on how you were going to use it, but you can go to your most of the time, if you have a cell phone through your cell provider, you can actually turn on your hotspot for through your cell phone if you have enough data. But then there's also, you can get a hotspot through your cell provider for a little bit cheaper, or you can go, just out to any cell provider really and just pick up one that's either prepaid or you would pay per month. What's your plans? Is it for a tablet that doesn't have cell service on it?
No, actually, it's for the wife for her computer, because sometimes she goes with me and she works from home, and she has to have Wi-Fi, so it would be for her computer when she does go, Basically, is what it would be for.
There's a bunch of different options, but I can give you a call after this call, and we can talk about it, and I can give you some more in-depth detail on some options that we got.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. And
yeah,
that was the
absolutely.
only question I have. Other than that, keep up the good work. The freight is really strong, and everything's looking good. So you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Whatever it is, you're doing it right.
Thanks, Al. You keep doing what you're doing, too, and we'll all be in pretty good shape.
There we go.
Thank you,
We're
Al.
just looking at the world through the windshield. All right, buddy. Y'all be good.
There you
Take
go.
care.
Thanks, Al. See you.
Bye. All right, another caller here, Rodney Carson. Rodney, how are you?
Hey, pretty good. Nice to hear everything's going good for our company. All the good freight you guys are getting. My question is, actually two questions. Is we had a IFTA sticker got washed off the side of the truck, so we requested another IFTA sticker, and we got 2 sets.
Okay.
So what do we do with the extra set? You want us to send it back?
Sounds to me like you need to buy another truck, Rod.
Yeah, just hold
hey,
on.
I want to buy a W900 with a studio sleeper.
Yeah, just hold
I
tight
got a
10 seconds.
Okay. And the other question is, for about the PPP thing, is do you have to pay that back, and how do you apply?
I tell you, probably if you'll call me, I'll walk you right through it. The answer is no. As long as you can show that you proved that you have lost 25% of revenue. Now, they're going to use your Schedule C, and they're going to go on line 31. We heard a rumor out there that they were going to allow you to remove the depreciation, but they're not going to do that. So, yeah, you give me a call at that 479-790-5581, and I'll fix you up.
Okay. And who do you get all this freight through out of the Midwest? Is it just through ACE's dispatch, or is there agents?
It's a number of individuals, Rod. We've got agents, we've got company stores, and then I know you've been doing a lot of FedEx too, so which you're familiar with that. So a lot of it is on the general freight side, your building materials, your tubing, but there's also machinery moving right now too, through our company stores. Rubber belting out of Marysville, Ohio. Doug Ferris has really caught fire out of his customer there. Debbie Ashcraft up in Monroe. So there's a lot of options right now. A lot of freight shaking and money to be had.
The best thing is to call you, and you point them in the right direction.
Yeah, call into operations. Doesn't have to be me. Anybody over there can help you.
Okay. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Rod.
All right,
Thanks, Rod.
All right. We do not have any additional callers right now, so go ahead and we'll just wrap this up. Just want to thank all of our guests for joining us. It was a full ensemble of characters today.
Yeah, that was good.
Got good information. So I just finished up by thanking all of our drivers. Obviously, without the work you do, there's no purpose for us. I'm so appreciative of what you do and the sacrifices you make out there for us. So, Jim, did you want to comment?
Yeah, I just agree with that wholeheartedly. One of the little speeches I had to record for the symposium, I talked about that very thing, that there's, 4 spokes to this wheel, and it's our customers, our agents, our drivers, and the office employees and the company employees. And without any one of those 4 spokes, the wheel doesn't roll right. And we're really blessed to have a great group in all 4 of those groups. So and I know they're on the call today are people from those groups, with the exception of customers. But just thank you all. Things are rolling well. We're very blessed, and we appreciate everything you all do. So thank you, and thank you for your consideration of Frances Risner and her house fire. We appreciate that as well.
Before I sign off, I did get a text from Jeff. He just wants to remind me that he has some freight too. So Chad, did you want to talk a little bit about his freight?
Jeff Roach got round trip freight. Check with Jeff and Mark down there in Owensboro. Hold on just a minute. Let's get them a plug here. I'll give you their phone number. That way everybody's got it, and we can get them rolling. Jeff and Mark, 270-691-0023. We love you guys down there.
You're the best, Jeff. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Be safe.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.